Okay, we have Vaishnavi. Yes, Vaishnavi.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, Arduino is the circuit that works on 5 volts.
Okay. Anything else you want to share for
And
Arduino?
it has the 0 to 13 digital pins, and
Okay.
pin A0 to A5 is analog pins.
Okay, great, great. So, Vaishnavi said some characteristics about Arduino. Let's say it has digital pins over here, 0 to 13, and analog pins over here. Okay. So, we'll be using an analog pin over here for our reading today for digital thermometer. Okay. We have Sanskriti with us. Yes, Sanskriti.
Yes, sir. Arduino Uno is an source with a microcontroller that has a microchip in it, attached in it, that is 80 mega.
Okay, so Sanskriti also said it right that Atmega IC is over here. This black chip that you see over here, this is the Atmega, right? That is present on this Arduino, right? So basically we can say Arduino or a microcontroller is the brain of the circuit, right? It takes some input and according to the coding that we do, the instructions that we give to this Arduino, we get, wait a minute. Okay, so according to the instructions that we have given and the input that we get from our sensors, we give some output right through these digital and analog pins. So over here, if you see in this circuit, what is happening is, okay, so in this circuit that you will see that there is an LCD screen. So this is an output, you can say it is showing an output. Okay, so I'll just first of all show you the simulation. Wait a minute. Okay, so you must be able to see it over here that it is showing an output. Okay, that is hello world, and then it is giving a reading. So basically it is the number of seconds over here. This simulation time, if you see simulator time, so when this becomes 2 or 3, I have highlighted it over here. So this will also change with it. Okay, so it is just showing number of seconds. Okay, the simulator time is running actually a little bit low. That is why it is running late. But the coding that we have done, right, it is for seconds. Okay, so you must have done this circuitry, I hope, in the LCD class. So over here you will see there is this device, right, this round device. Can any student tell me? I'm just focusing over here. What is this device called over here that I am having a circle about? Okay, so we have Tanishka with us. Yes, Tanishka.
Sir, it is potentiometer.
Okay, so do you know anything about potentiometer? Why is it used, or any real life example?
Teacher, sir, it is used for connecting.
Okay, but why do we use this potentiometer? Have you ever used it potentiometer in your real life?
No, sir.
Okay, I will just, for all the students, I will give an example of this. So we have Sanskriti also here. Yes.
Sir, I have made a Arduino.
Over here, you will see that if I take it to 1, if you see the LCD screen, it will not show anything. Okay, and when I take it to this, this to its maximum, let me just take it. Over here, you will see this. So basically, this controls the backlight of this LCD. Okay, and it gives a different output. Let's say if it is at maximum, it is giving 5 volt, and when I take it to the minimum, it will be giving a 0 volt. Why? Because it is getting its positive from this 5 volt of the Arduino. Okay, you see the red wire. Okay, it is at terminal 1, and then we are grounding it. Okay, so over here terminal 2 is being grounded over here. Okay, and then there is a wiper. Wiper is the voltage output that we will be getting for this LCD, right? So you get this V0 over here. So that is basically the voltage, okay, that we'll be getting from the Arduino. So for maximum voltage, we'll just increase this dial to its maximum, and over here we'll get the brightness. Okay, so that is the working of this circuit, right? The commands and data is being we are getting in this LED from DB4 to DB7. This means that this LCD is working on a 4-bit mode, okay, and it is connected to 5432, okay, digital pins. I'm just revising this, and then we'll be making the digital thermometer circuit, okay, and then this 11 and 12 are getting connected over here, RS and E. So E is for enabling, and this is for a register select, okay. So in your let's say 11th and 12th classes, you will get to know about what is a register. So it is just for that selection purpose, okay. And then we have a resistor also over here. So it is being connected to this LED and LED. So can any student tell me like why we are using this resistor over here in this circuit? You can just raise your hand. So we have Saad Mansoori. Yes, Saad. You're not audible, Saad. Can you just turn on your mic again? You are not audible. Could be two. So I'll just make a simple diagram for you to understand. So one is where reading comes in written. There is a LCD panel over here, right? And it shows a digital reading, right? Let's say 98.3 Fahrenheit or 100 degree Fahrenheit. Then there is a thermometer. Okay, so you have this bulb over here, okay, and then there is a reading of, let's say it is like here, and there is a metal fluid that is present, right? It is called mercury, okay, with which you measure it, okay. So it rises up as the temperature of your body increases, right? So these type of two, thermometers you must have encountered in your daily life, okay. So I think this was a practical example of, our thermometers. So you can just take a screenshot, okay, if you want, and I will just address some doubts if any student is having. Yes, Soham, do you have any doubt? Soham, you can just put your hand down if you are not having any doubt, because you have a... Vaishnavi, do you have any doubt?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, what is the full form of K?
So K is Kelvin. Over here I have written it. If you see, Kelvin.
Okay,
It
sir.
is Kelvin. Okay. It is also used, right? So if you just, so 273 degrees Celsius, or like some decimal, is equals to 0 Kelvin. Okay. So
Okay,
that
sir.
is what our reading goes like. Okay. So now we'll see what a temperature sensor looks like. Okay. So I will write a temperature sensor. Okay. So if I just draw a simple diagram, so that is how it looks on Tinkercad. So it has 3 terminals, and over here TMP is written, right? It is in black a little bit. Let's say like this, it is all black. And then 3 terminals are there. Okay. So on the left is about power. Then in the center we have V output. Okay. The voltage output. And then over here we have the ground. So I will just show this on the Tinkercad also, don't worry. So can any student tell me or I will just, share it with you. First of all, it is TMP 36. This is the model number that we have on Tinkercad. Okay. Okay. And the range of this sensor is, I thought you must be knowing. So I will just write it. It is minus 40 degrees Celsius to 125 degrees Celsius. Okay, this is the temperature range. We will see this when we make the circuit. So don't worry. And this temperature sensor is of different types. Okay, so it is based upon, I'll just write different types. So based upon different technologies. And principles, right? So there are different types of temperature sensor. It is not that only this temperature sensor is available, right, for our purpose. But we will not go into depth of this. Okay, so there are digital and manual types. Okay, just for an example, I'm just writing digital or manual, right? So this V out that I talked about, it gives us a variable reading. Okay, Why it gives a variable reading? Because it has a variable range, that is minus 40 degrees Celsius to 125 degrees Celsius. That is why it gives us a variable reading. So for that purpose, we join it with the analog pin of Arduino. Okay. So we'll see this when we go to the Tinkercad screen. Okay. So you can just students take a screenshot and then we'll move on to the Tinkercad screen. Okay. And we'll make the circuit. We are having around 15 minutes. So we'll be able to create that circuit. Can you students give a yes in the chat box that you have taken the screenshot or understood the concept? If you are having any doubt regarding this, you can just raise your hand, or I'll just, try to wrap it up with the circuit. Okay, we have a why yes in this chat box. Okay. Great, students. So let me just share my screen. Okay, over here, we have the circuit already, right? We just need a temperature sensor. So wait a minute. So over here, what I will write is just TEMP, and then I will get this temperature, right? So we have a starter circuit, and then we have this temperature sensor, that is TMP 36. Okay, so I've just dragged it over here. And what I will do, I will just put it. First of all, I'll just, show you these 3 pins. So I've just focused it. So you will see there is written power, V out, that is the voltage output, and then we have the ground. So these 3 pins that we talked about. Okay. So what I'll do, I will just put it on this breadboard. Okay. And then what I have to do is I have to connect it with this circuitry, right? So for this power, what we will do, we will connect this with the 5 volt. Okay. So what I do, this breadboard whole column is interconnected. So from here, I will just connect it with this, and I will mark it as red because it is a positive power, and then this ground with the ground, okay, port, and I will mark it as black. And then comes this middle one, voltage output. So we have to connect this with the analog pin of the Arduino. Okay. So let's say I just drag it like this, and from below I take it, let's say over here. Okay, to A0, the analog pin, right? The first analog pin of Arduino. And I will mark it with a different color. Let's say I mark it with gray. Okay. So that is the circuit connection of this temperature sensor with the circuit, right? This is all that you have to do in the circuit connection, right? So if you remember the steps, that is power with the 5 volt over here of Arduino, and then this ground with the ground, and then this